It's the week when the transfer window closes, and as you can imagine, the stories are rife. Players coming in, players heading out. We'll be busy at the West Ham Network reporting all of the news, and we'll be looking at saying whether or not they are realistic targets or whether they're absolute BS in the mainstream media. Now, let's get on to the player we want to talk about now. Sources close to West Ham have actually come out and dismissed any transfer links with Roma striker Tammy Abraham, as reported by Sean Wheatstone. Now, he shared on his X account that insiders at the London Stadium have denied any interest in the England international. Reports from Italy, though, have suggested that West Ham were advancing with a deal for the former Chelsea player after Julian Lopetegui's side made an offer near Roma's valuation. What is that valuation? That valuation is, I believe, 30 million euros. But West Ham sources maintain that there is no truth to these claims. Now, earlier in the summer, Wheatstone also reported that West Ham sources called the speculation around Abraham's future nonsense. Although West Ham are expected to make more signings before the transfer window closes this week, it seems unlikely that Abraham will be among them. However, is there smoke and mirrors? While Abraham is a talented player who could provide additional options for Lopetegui this season, my one big concern about looking at a player like this is his recent injury record, picking up a crucial ligament damage and missing over 40 games for Roma. Those sort of injuries are not always the ones that people can recover from. However, age is on his side. He is 26 years old. But West Ham have already invested heavily in a striker in Füllkrug. We've still got Antonio, we've still got Danny Ings still on the squad list, and it appears that as things stand, we currently have sufficient enough striking options. But I think we were led to believe that we're going to keep our eye on the market and keep our eye on the transfers and keep an eye on the striker situation. And there might be some genuine interest from West Ham, but I fully expect players to leave the transfer window over the coming days and this week. Now, the one thing I want to say to you about Tammy Abraham is that he has scored a lot of goals in his career, and he is only 26. He's actually he scored 150 goals, career football goals, with 41 assists and 350. Sorry, that's actually a lie. He's actually scored 160 goals with 42 assists in over 370 football matches. That's a really good return for your investment. Really good return for your investment. In 120 games at Roma, he scored 37 goals, 13 assists. With Chelsea, 82 games, 30 goals, 10 assists. And then you can see all the records of when he played at Bristol City, Aston Villa, Swansea, you name it, etc., etc. Like I said, one of the biggest concerns is his injury record, picking up an injury back in 2023. It was a cruciate ligament damage, and he never. He was out on June the 5th and came back on March the 16th the following year. 285 days. He's had a few little niggles here, there, and everywhere, but nothing related to his leg as well. What would Tammy Abraham bring to West Ham? Well, he's got a wealth of experience and he's won a lot in his footballing career, having scored well over 100 goals for club and country in his career as well. His pace, accuracy in front of goal is something that could be admired, and they're just a couple of his strengths on the pitch. He's already won the Champions League. He's won the Super Cup with Chelsea. And he was also a player that has played in the Championship and promoted to the Premier League back in 2019 with Aston Villa. He would have hunger, he would have desire, and he would want to try and push in, if he could, to the England squad. And I think sometimes when you look at a player like that who's played abroad and is looking for an opportunity to come back, there's maybe something in that. I think if West Ham could go through a rigorous medical to ensure There's no niggles. I don't know if you'll ever know really if there is any niggles or not, but I am not dead against Tammy Abraham coming into the club. I think he would be a shrewd piece of business if we could get him for the right valuation. I would hope that we would be doing or just simply doing our due diligence on a player of his stature and ensuring that he is fit, raring to go, and is capable of doing the job at West Ham. Reports are suggesting that he earns just under 100k a week with Roma, so well within West Ham's budget to be able to afford him as well. So I think it's a one to watch, potential excitement one as well, but we probably need players out the door. And I think if West Ham are going to take Tammy Abraham, we're going to have to look at something like a permanent deal, with the expectation that Carlos Soler comes in this week with a loan option, which obviously frees up some finances for this season with an option to buy the following season. So what do you think? Tammy Abraham, yes or no? Put it in the comments, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, join us later on for more content, and come on, you Irons.